ma'am, bawal kayo dito.
Hindi, boss. Bakit lang po? Bakit lang po talaga ito, kuya? Huwag yung kunin, kuya. Bawal naman pinagdang po yung tatay ko, kuya. Bakit po kasi ito, boss?
What you'll see is they'll take them into this property here, which appears to have been abandoned. I don't know if they really have permission to be in here or if they just made their own way inside. There's a lot of abandoned properties in Baclaran because no one can do business here. The vendors block their entrances and exits.
Kuya, hindi ba niyo ako? Ate, mga estudyante ko, kuya. Hanapin na yung pangalan ko. Aba! Nagtikar ka! Wala pa naman dito yung asawa ko, naglakbay. Tulit na ka!
Hoy, tulungan niyo to!
Tulungan niyo kami dito! Malit! Dito!
Hey. Ano na?
Malit!
Ma'am, wag na po kayo ma'am dyan, barang ma'am. Ma'am, masasaktan. Ma'am.
They have asked these vendors countless times not to obstruct the sidewalk, not to obstruct the road. Unfortunately, it eventually comes to a situation like this where they have no choice but to start impounding stuff. Although most likely they'll be able to claim this back later. So it's not a total loss because the MMDA are very, what's the word? I don't want to say soft, but very considerate with vendors. Further along there's a lot more stores. Not all of them are rolling away, but some of them are. They're also telling them to remove their stuff from the private property of these buildings here because they don't have permission to have it there. Of course, the risk that the team face now is that people might try and ambush the truck, which has happened in the past. In fact, the girls just got on the truck now and she's removing her stuff.
Ano po bang laban namin sa inyo, ha?
Bawal po tayo sumakay po sa government
Nakikiusap
vehicle.
ako sa inyo ng mayos na hindi nyo kami pinapakinggan. Ang makatao po ba ang ginagawa nyo? Kayo lang po ba ang anak ng Diyos? Okay, medyo ba ako?
They're asking now on the radio for police support because there's not much they can do about this lady at the moment other than kindly ask her to come down from the truck.
Nakiusap po ka sa kanila ng mayos. Nakiusap po. Nagpapakawa po ako sa inyo na hindi ko na kami na ano.
Baba ka na, baba!
Pinapaaral din ako.
Huwag ka marauta, makatama ka ba?
Ikulong niyo ako, ikulong niyo ako.
Sige, tawag mo yung pulis. Baba mo!
They finally got the girl down from the truck.
Hindi nyo naman binibigay sa amin yan eh.
The MMDA have been so soft on them for so long that they kind of become used to being able to do what they want, not having to follow any rules, not having to listen to any authority. And when things get a little bit stricter, they don't like it. There goes a police officer now to help the team. They already got the lady down, but at least there was a fast response from the police. More stores rolling away over here. Basically, the policy right now, the MMDA, is if there's someone with the stall and they're willing to roll away, no confiscation. If there's no one with the stall and it's left unattended, then there's confiscation. And look over here, they've left just one lane for vehicles to pass through and they've occupied everything else in front of Max's all the way up to KFC. Incredible. The thing is, they roll away now and make it look nice, but later they're going to come back and just obstruct everything again. You see right now they're rolling into this little side street, but there's barely any space. You'll see over here is another side road that's completely obstructed by vendors. They've stopped this vendor here because a car owner has complained that he hit them with his stall and keeps trying to leave, but they're telling him no, you're responsible for the damage you caused to the car back there. They're now confiscating the cart that ran into the car. It's not meant to be on the road anyway. The thing is, the team are working with such a tiny truck because the big truck has been out of commission for over a month now. Why is there so many vendors in the road?
But even your children, you did not control. This is not my children. This is very.
But you're the leader, no?
I am the leader, but not control the vendors.
So you're the
Lot
leader,
all.
but you have no control.
But I command
So
the vendors.
why do they negotiate with you if you don't have any
I
control?
can negotiate, but we did not follow the negotiation. What I can do it? I kill him. This is the good. Every day I tell him, this is the good, this is the lie. We did not follow. We waiting to the airport.
You think
to
it's
the
okay
militia.
to confiscate? Where they?
Really, but sometimes it's confiscated. If we have a problem, it's confiscated. But we did not follow the negotiation.
The team are now on Pasai side heading towards Baclaran LRT. As mentioned in my last video, all of these stores on this sidewalk, they're permitted, and same thing over here, all of these stores on that sidewalk are permitted. The only stipulation is that they have to allow a little bit of space for pedestrians, but realistically, how are pedestrians going to fit on such a tiny space? And once the team aren't here, they'll just expand over that anyway. So that's why all the pedestrians are just walking in the road. And you'll see the PMP SWATs are also here to protect the team today, so that's good news. The team have made a bit of a pit stop here, so it might be by the time they get to the LRT, they've moved a lot of their stores and it looks better. But once they move forward, we'll see how it looks. And if you look at all these stores on the sidewalk here, these are also permitted, so there's nothing the team are allowed to do about that. And all of these stores are in the road here. They've also been approved, so nothing the team can do about those today. The only one that doesn't have stores in front of their property is BDO, because they're big enough to tell the MMDA that they don't want the stores there. But the rest of the businesses along here and property owners, unfortunately the stores will occupy their space or will occupy the sidewalk. As always, there's a lot of garbage laying around. When the vendors finish with their stuff, they just throw it on the floor because they don't respect the area, of course. And all of these stores over here have also been permitted, so nothing the team can do about those today. Honestly, most stores are permitted now after negotiations, so the team are very limited in what they can do. Over here you'll see a lot of stores are now starting to roll away. The reality is there were probably a lot more of them here, but because the team stopped so long further down the road, they had a chance to roll away before MMDA got here. And you'll see the man over there is pulling down his power lines. I don't know how well you can see on camera because it's dark. He's got them down, so he'll be able to reinstall those once the team leave. In fact, the man who took those wires down appears to work for the barangay. No. You don't work for the barangay? So that man claimed that he doesn't work for the barangay, but someone else said he works as a barangay Tanod. I'll verify with you, Segdinho, because if he works for the barangay and he's facilitating the vendors with illegal connections in the middle of the road and things like that, then he should be dealt with in the right way by the DILG. Look at this mess. They can't even be bothered to put it in a trash bag. They just leave it here for someone else to clean up. And people say, hey, give them some slack. They're just poor trying to earn a simple living. No, these are not simple vendors. These are not poor vendors. They're selling high value items for high profit. For example, those pirated DVDs, they can buy those for 5 peso. They can sell them for 40 or 50 peso. The sneakers, they can buy them for 100 peso or 120. They can sell them for 300 to 500 peso. So yeah, these aren't simple, ordinary vendors trying to earn a basic living. These are highly organized, highly professional, big profits, big money, big collectors, and that's why things are how they are, because there's so much money involved. Over here you'll see the vendors are also moving their stores from the entrance and exit of the train station. There's a lot of complaints from commuters saying that most of the time this is fully occupied by vendors and they can't even pass through. If you see all these stores that are partially on the road, partially on the sidewalk, they're also approved, so nothing the team can do about those. Over here, if you look at these stores on the sidewalk and the road, they've also been approved. I know I keep repeating that, but I'm just trying to give you a good idea of what the team can and can't do, because they can only work within what's been agreed and what's been negotiated. So all of these stores, they're allowed to stay here. All of these stores here and all of these stores in front of Jollibee on the roundabout, also approved. The only thing that isn't allowed is stores on the center island, but everything else approved. The team are now back on the front side, Paranaki side, and you'll see all of those stores that rolled away a couple of hours ago, they came back again. And that's the reality. Without any confiscation, without any penalty, why would they take the MMDA seriously? They're just going to do the same thing over and over again. A man just came running along saying someone snatched his cell phone. He chased after them on the motorcycle, but it looks like they escaped. The team are now making the vendors roll away from in front of this building. They did complain to the MMDA. Someone from the SCOG team is now looking at all these stores that are in the road. I think it's causing extra traffic. Look, they're now going to run away. It's like musical chairs. Run away when the team come, run away when they leave. It makes a mockery of the MMDA. It looks like they didn't get very far. They just stopped slightly further down the road. Looks like the MMDA is now coming in from the other side. Maybe they've lost patience with this nonsense. They didn't actually... Anyway, the team are now confiscating one cart to try and send a message that they're serious about keeping them out of the road. A lot of the vendors came over and started staring at me as if it's my fault, but actually if it was my decision things would be even stricter, so they should be happy with the way that the MMDA are right now. They're quite reasonable and considerate to the vendors. What I wonder is why the MMDA just helped that van park at their station, because it looks like a colorum, and I'm wondering why the assigned MMDA have escorted them in here and then, you know, basically allowed them to park here. See, right now he's telling him no. Obviously they've got used to parking here, so this is the kind of monkey business that will have to be reported to General Danny Lim, the chairman. Some of the other drivers going past said they've been paying to park here, government property, and they're making money out of it for parking, allegedly. You'll see there's a number of other vehicles here also. The MMDA that actually escorted the van in has now disappeared. I don't know where he's gone to. I mean, that pretty much sums up Baclaran, to be honest. Corruption. Now, although I said these look like colorum vehicles with the super blacked out windows, the two-way radio antennas and everything else, I can't prove that because there's no passengers on board, but they are being ticketed for being parked here, and I have told the MMDA here that I'm planning to submit this to the chairman to report them. And the guy that actually escorted this van in, he's run away and no one will give me his name. They say they don't know, which seems impossible because they work here with him every day and somehow they don't know his name. They think the team's gone ahead, so they've all come back again, but I already have them on camera earlier. And the thing is, that's an MPCG satellite office or sidewalk clearing group. How come they're assigned here permanently, but the vendors are always here in the middle of the road? In fact, that guy with the megaphone, he's the only one I ever see working, trying to move vendors away, but the rest of them, no.